Hello everybody. I posted a video a couple of days ago, this one here, that says, who claims I stand with Lewis Hamilton but actually does nothing. It only had 293 views, and this seems to be the increasing trend that my videos are almost seen by a decreasing audience. Why that is, I don't know yet. We'll find out at some point in the future, no doubt. It does feel like they're being suppressed, but again, I don't know how it works. What I do know is what is factually right in certain things in life. And what I'm trying to campaign for is what is right for justice. It's quite simple. So, the video where I've put out saying who claims I stand with Lewis Hamilton but actually does nothing. Here's something you can do, because here's something I have done, and actually this is something I need you to do. So, if I look on this tab, this is my emails. This one here that I've highlighted, if I zoom in, no reply at eu.egressforms.com. Thank you for submitting a referral to the SFO. Okay, so what's that all about? Serious Fraud Office UK. Google it. You've got a laptop, you've got a phone, type it in, Serious Fraud Office UK, and when you go on to their website, it's a .gov website, Serious Fraud Office. Now I'll come to that. Let's look at fraud first. So, fraud. Wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. A person or thing intended to deceive others, typically by unjustifiably claiming or being credited with accomplishments or qualities. So if you look at Wikipedia, in law, fraud is intentional deception to secure unfair or unlawful gain, or to deceive a victim of a legal right. Fraud can violate civil law or criminal law, or it may cause no loss of money, property, or legal right, but still be an element of another civil or criminal wrong. Okay? So, we are dealing with fraud, and let's be clear about it, and let's understand what fraud is. Is fraud a serious crime? And let me just enlarge this. I'm a pro now at presenting. Cases of serious fraud may take several years to investigate and can have severe consequences. Those found guilty of serious fraud may face unlimited fines or up to 10 years in prison. It is likely that the Proceeds of Crime Act will also be initiated when a person is prosecuted or convicted of serious fraud. Okay, and then you can do all the research yourself. You can go on onto the websites, you can investigate what constitutes fraud. You can look on that solicitor's website. What is the definition of fraud in the UK? 1. A person is in breach of this section if he dishonestly makes false representation, and B. intends by making the representation to make a gain for himself or another, or to cause loss to another, or to expose another to risk or loss. So we have perpetrators, who are the people that design what is going to take place. We have those that implement what takes place through their decisions, and we have those that are conspirators to fraud through dishonestly making the false representation of it. That about covers Liberty Media, the FIA, F1 TV, SkySports F1, and RedBull. Them 5 parties are guilty of fraud. You can add to that the World Motorsport Council, because all they did was rubber stamp the FIA report. So they committed fraud as well, because they just claimed to the world that they felt it was okay what they did. They couldn't see fit to pick apart and go, what are you doing here? This doesn't comply with your own rules. So what are you actually presenting here? So they're conspirators to the fraud. We can prove it. We can prove that leading up to the supposed error, the TV footage that we were all shown set a narrative. The radio messages that we were heard, that were presented to us, set the narrative. We can prove that the commentators of Martin Brundle and David Croft lied. They dishonestly made false representation. That is a fact. We can prove that the FIA broke their own rules. We can prove that Michael Massey broke the rules of the sport with his decisions. We can prove that the stewards broke the rules of the sport with their decisions. We can prove that the FIA themselves broke the rules of the sport with their subsequent process. They could have easily have reviewed everything themselves and admitted by the Thursday of that week that they clearly made grave errors and that they had to amend the result of the race and therefore the result of the championship. They could have easily done that. We've seen it happen. We've seen it happen post-race. Since Abu Dhabi, we've seen that happen. And then they took 3 months, and I will do a video analysing their 3-month review and what it presented. There is many lies within that. So they are guilty of fraud. So what can you do about it? What you can do about it is you can go onto the Serious Fraud Office website. If you go to Contact Us, which is in this black section along here, Contact Us, you click on that, it brings up this section. Okay, reporting serious fraud, bribery and corruption. Okay, find the right place to report your information, so you can click on that. Reporting serious fraud, bribery and corruption. And then if you enlarge this, I want to report an instance of, so you can choose which one it is. I tick this one. I want to provide an information about a case of serious or complex fraud. Okay, and it might ask you through this process if you yourself suffered financial loss through the fraud. And what counts as a financial loss is, many of us have subscribed to Sky Sports in order to watch Formula 1. You may have been paying in the region of £35 per month, believing that you are watching a sport. You are subscribing to coverage of a sport. They have not conducted that sport in accordance with the rules of the sport. So what you are paying for, you have been defrauded out of any money that you paid to Sky Sports. That is your first financial loss. If you placed a bet on the outcome of either the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix or the 2021 Formula 1 Championship and you lost, you have been defrauded. So whatever money you may have bet, you have been defrauded that amount because of the result that they cheated to accomplish. Even if that bet was with a friend, if it was a £100 bet that you bet your friend on the outcome of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix or of the championship, and you bet Lewis Hamilton was going to win the championship and your friend bet that it was going to be Max Verstappen, you have been defrauded. You may have also suffered hatred. You may have also suffered online toxicity, hatred, targeting, hate crime. Now that's something else I'm going to deal with in another video. but that has caused you significant harm. It is disgusting the way that those of us that are just standing up for justice, for standing up for truth, have had to suffer abuse for doing so at the hands of fools that either like the outcome that they're presented with or are too thick to realise what the actual real situation is. They delight in it. But all of that has been at the hands of the sport. Liberty Media, the FIA, SkySports F1, F1 TV, RedBull, the World Motorsport Council, they know what they did. And they have subjected us all to that hatred, that abuse, due to what they have perpetrated. And I will never forgive any of them for that. Never forgive any of them. So, what's the jurisdiction? Serious Fraud Office is a UK agency. In fact, if you go back to this one here, fraud. Let me just take this down. They're not the only place. You've got Action Fraud. It might be that you want to report it there. There might be other agencies, other police forces that you might want to report it to. But I've submitted a report to the Serious Fraud Office. I would like those of you that truly care to do that. And I know that there's some of you that are subscribed to this channel that will do that because you care as much as I care. But this is it requires a collective effort. No one person is going to change the world on their own, right? But we can if enough of us do it, okay? And those of you that are going to get off your asses and actually do something as opposed to just clicking a like on social media, right? Because that's not doing it enough. Or just signing a petition on the change.org website. That's not enough, right? We've got to do more because that doesn't achieve anything. We've got to do something that is actually going to be effective. And I need people to actually get in touch with these people, report the fraud, make them investigate it. And you know what? Cite me as a source of information. I will be happy to give them everything that I can inform them about of this fraud. And everybody can contribute. Everybody can contribute because those of you that want to leave comments in the comment section with what you've seen about the fraud, all of this information adds together and we build this case as a collective. This is what's happened to me over the last 16 months. I knew things were wrong and I started posting about things were wrong, and over time people have made comments that have opened my eyes to other things, and therefore collectively we have actually started unpicking this and unraveling it all. And that's what we're almost there. We're not far away from unraveling everything, all right? But we need to actually be effective because we're shouting about it in social media and it's falling on deaf ears and nobody's doing anything. So this is one course of action we can take, the legal route in terms of law enforcement. The other legal route can be a class action case, but I'll do another video about that because that's a different route. They might be linked, but initially we need these people, the perpetrators, to face criminal charges because some of them need prison sentences for what they've done. What they've done is absolutely disgusting. And as I say, if you have ever received online abuse for standing up for what is right in relation to this, they have caused that. So when we talk about jurisdiction, this is the Serious Fraud Office UK, Formula One headquarters in the UK. So Serious Fraud Office, they've got their headquarters in London. It's not that far from to go and knock on the door of Formula One, okay? Because they're a UK registered company. So they have jurisdiction of dealing with Formula One. Liberty Media might be an American company, but ultimately Formula One is a British company. SkySports F1. SkySports. Oops. Oh, what have I done there? That's my computer skills. What's going on? There we are. I'm not going to try and do that again. So, country, United Kingdom. Headquarters, Sky Campus, Isleworth, London. There you go. So they've got jurisdiction over them as well. That's 2 of the perpetrators. We need to start nailing these criminals. Okay? That is the way we expose this. Because the media aren't doing it. The media are not telling the truth on this. We have the BBC, who are supposed to be the British Broadcasting Corporation. Somebody that is supposed to be impartial and telling the truth. They've got their F1 chief, Andrew Benson. He's never told the truth. All he's ever done is given out the Liberty Media agenda. He's just parroted that. Oh yeah, it was a amazing end to the season, a little bit controversial. I've sent him article after article after article explaining everything, explaining the clear rule breaks, just in case he didn't know. Because, you know, BBC's chief correspondent doesn't know the rules of the sport, right? So I've told him. And what's he said about it? Absolutely nothing. That's the BBC. They shouldn't be owned by Rupert Murdoch. They shouldn't be owned by the other interested parties who financially gain from it or are linked with each other or have the same investments in the same hedge funds and cross financial links. But even Benson, he's probably been warned. If you ever expose anything, you won't be allowed on the F1 gravy train anymore. You won't be allowed to report on the sport. So there's your ticket for trotting around the globe to each of these events and doing a little report on each Grand Prix. Unlucky, you won't get that anymore. So there's a man with absolutely no integrity. But I'm going to do another video just about him at some point because he's disgusting. Right, I'm going to bring this one to a close. But this is what we need to do. I am going to bring forward more evidence. I'm going to tell you other ways we can do things and who to appeal to. But what you can all do is, what I'm asking you to do is submit a report to these people, the Serious Fraud Office. Okay? If you are watching this video and you are not based in the UK, can you find a way of reporting the global fraud to whoever investigates fraud in your country? As far as I'm aware, international fraud should be being investigated by the FBI or Interpol. I might be wrong on this. Maybe somebody else, somebody that's viewing this, can comment to actually give us some factual information about the right route to take in order to report fraud. But this is a route to take, and this is where we, as a collective, need to report the crime. The more people that actually submit reports to these, they can't dismiss it. If they just get my report in, they can easily just ignore me. If they get 50 or 100 reports in saying Formula One committed fraud, they can't dismiss that as easy. Because actually, we will make this big. We are going to make it so big, and we're going to make it so that those people that have ignored us, they're going to get exposed as well. Because when we do make this big, when we finally achieve justice, we're going to call out everybody that's ignored this, everybody that has been compliant. So we need to start putting the pressure on. All the media companies that I've sent letters to, that I've explained the rules to, I've explained the fraud to, they've all ignored me and done nothing. And I'm going to actually expose every single one of them when we achieve justice, because we're going to. But you need to play your part. Don't just do nothing. Don't just click a like. It's not good enough. Do something. And this is step one. Finally, I just need to give another mention, another thanks to FF1, the number of subscribers on my channel has increased by probably 30 or 40 since he has given me a mention on his channel. So I need to thank him for that. I want you to all know I never set out to become a YouTuber. It's not my ambition. It's not what I am. But the sad nature of this is everyone ignores you. I have tried to do this through other means. I've tried to go through the right channels and everybody ignores you. And it seems the only way you can actually get people's attention is by trying to do this sort of thing and then getting enough people on board to ensure that there becomes a movement of people that demand change. And it seems that the way you need to do that is make your channel bigger. And I'm guessing that when your channel gets to 1,000 subscribers, when it can be monetized, which means I'll probably start adding more adverts into your videos, it probably means your channel comes up on more people's feeds as being recommended to them because they're making money out of you. Because money always revolves around everything. All right. But at the moment, mine's a tiny channel, and so I don't know how it works, but it certainly doesn't seem as though my videos are reaching people. So whether it's that my channel needs to grow, whether my channel is being suppressed, I don't know. Which is why I appeal to the likes of other YouTubers to start putting this sort of information out, because they've already got their audience. FF1, he's got 811 people. So head across there, please. Hit subscribe. Let's see if we can get him up to 1,000, and let's see if he then gets a bigger audience as a result of that. Let's see if he starts coming up on other people's feeds, and therefore he's going to be saying the same message, right? He's going to be saying the same things, and will he hit a bigger audience with it? Let's give it a try. Get on to Wonderful, okay? Badger him, because when that guy gets his passion back, he's got 10,000 people, 10,000 subscribers straight away. It might take 3 or 4 years to get up to that level. It might never happen for me. I don't really want to. I want this done and dusted well before then, and then you won't be hearing any more from me. Okay? But let's get on to these people. Let's urge them to do what needs to be done, and let's change things. Okay? So now that you've watched this, please do something. Do what I've asked you to do, and report the crime. Thank you very much.